Okay, very good. All right.
Hello, Stephanie.
All right.
All right, just ask away.
Okay. First one is, what is your name and age?
My name is Ann Callahan, but it used to be Anichka Shtechova, and I'm 90 years old.
All right.
Young, I should say.
90 years young, exactly.
I'm not old.
You're only as old as you think you are, right?
Right.
Okay, next one. What is the name of your Czech ancestors that you came here with and your relationship?
What was their name?
Yes.
Well, it was my, well, this is the time where I should tell you that my father was in the First World War. He came to America first after he was discharged. My brother was already born, and so was I. My brother was 4 1/2, and I was 3. And he came to America before we did to see if he could make a living. He was a butcher. He saved up enough money for us to come to America in 1923. In June, we came on the Red Star Line. It took about 2 weeks to cross the ocean. We left from the port of Antwerp and docked in the port of New York. And right away we came to Sioux City, Iowa, where my father had a brother who sponsored him. Is that enough for
Yep.
that and for the answer
Yep.
on that?
All right. And where exactly did you come from? What was the name of your town? And everything?
The town I came from was Havlíčkův Brod. Havlíčkův Brod. And Havlíček, that it was named after a man, Havlíček. Havlíčkův Brod. That's where I was born.
Okay. And I guess we probably answered part of this. Why did your family come here? So you said your dad was in the...
My family came to America for a better life because things were very, very, very bad in Europe after World War I. And they were not too good in America either because we had a depression here. And so things were very, very tough in the beginning. Everybody was having a hard time. There weren't a lot of support groups, but within the Czech community, people helped each other.
Okay, and you said your dad had a brother here.
In Sioux City.
In Sioux City, and then you came with your brother, your mom, and who else? Is there any other family?
My Aunt Mary, who was my mother's sister, she was 33 at the time. She was 33, my mother was 28, and she was not married. So she came to America and she worked as a domestic, and so did my mother didn't, but my other aunt on my father's side of the family, her name was Anna, and she also worked as a domestic in Sioux City. And she was a great cook. So I had 2 aunts, my mother and 2 aunts, one from my father's side and one from my mother's side.
Okay. Let's see here. How were you accepted by others when you got here? Was there any hard situations of adjusting to being a Czech American?
Well, being 3 years old, I don't know. But I think that Czech people just automatically accept you and help you wherever they can. And I think that's what happened.
And you said your community was a very Czech community.
Oh, yeah, very, well, yeah. It was, like living in Czechoslovakia, really. Because all we did was, from the time I was growing up till I went to work, it was all Czech everywhere. We used to go to Pilsner Park in Chicago and had all the Czech food and the dancing and the accordion playing and the beer drinking, and it was wonderful. And of course I was a Sokolka, they would call it Sokol, and Sokol means falcon, and falcon is a very strong bird. Mm-hmm. And the idea was that your mind should be sound, and so should your body. It works together. And that was the idea of Havlíček Tyrš. That was his idea, to have calisthenics, to keep people healthy. Sound of mind and body.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. And once your family was here, what did all of your family do for jobs or?
Well, my father was a butcher by trade, and he worked for the Crawford Sausage Company in Chicago. We lived on Lawndale Avenue, and that's what he did, all of his life. He was a butcher.
And you said your mother was?
My mother was a seamstress, but she didn't work at it because she became ill when she was 30 years old. She had MS. Okay. She was very ill, and she died when she was 43. So that was pretty sad for us.
It's hard. Let's see. Do you think you somehow tried to preserve Czech culture and habits?
I always have.
It's been important. You said you kept up the language and...
Yeah, I kept up the language and whenever I could. But it wasn't always easy because I didn't always, during my married life in Rochester, New York, there was nobody there that I could speak to. But still, I had my relatives. And as I said, my aunt and I and my uncle, the man she married, we always spoke Czech. And they all learned to speak English, all of them. And they learned to write it too, very well. Not like some people who come here today.
Yeah.
Because I had to tell them, let's speak Czech, when I saw them.
And you said speaking Czech benefited you in your adult life?
Yeah, it sure did, because I was able to be a Pan Am stewardess, and I got to be all over the world because I spoke a language, and that's one of the requirements. So, as I said, you never know how something you have learned early in your life is going to benefit you later on. You just don't know. So learn what you can.
Yep. Let's see. Are you interested in Czech traditions and culture, or do you do
Always
anything
have been.
Czech or keep any specific traditions alive?
Well, I always have been, and I'm still doing it. And I'm still translating for people and doing whatever I can to keep it up, going to the festivals, and have been to the Czech Republic 7 times to visit my relatives. And when I go there and I want to ask a question anywhere, they don't even know I'm from America because I'm speaking just the way they do. There's no accent, no hesitation. I mean, they just look at me and answer my question and tell me where to go. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And one of the last times that I was there, I was in Germany and France and Luxembourg, and then when we crossed the border into Czechoslovakia, it was then Czechoslovakia, still under the communists, it was so wonderful at the border because I could speak to the guards, the border guards, and it was wonderful. Oh, and it was so funny. I was there once with other relatives and then once with my daughter. And when I was there with my daughter, we just had so much fun. And we were leaving Czechoslovakia to go to Germany, and we were worried about whether if we had bought too many things, or we had some Czech money left over. You're not supposed to leave with the Czech money, We drove up, to the border guard, and she and I were both laughing. And it was unusual for women to be driving, let alone, having a good time laughing and so forth. The guard came up and I spoke to him in Czech, and he said, musíte to openovat, meaning you have to open the trunk. Openovat, that is a word, an English word that see, Czech people, when they go over there, they take an English word and make it Czech, see, and vice versa. And because they don't know the Czech words, so they'll, for open, it's openovat, So we just laughed. We were just laughing, and he was too. And I said, "How come that you speak this way over here?" And he said, "We learned it from you." So we just, it was a ball, I'm telling you. We had fun. So we had no problem at the border.
When was the last time you were there?
I think it was 04.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about...
I love going over there and talking to the people, and I just absolutely... I have to go one more time, I think.
Come with me in May!
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, you can come. They're trying to fill the tour. If we don't fill the tour, I don't get to go on this tour I want to go.
Oh, which tour is it?
It's with a guy named Mark, and it's... Yep.
Bigowitz?
It's going down because my mom's family's from the Pilsen area, and
that's not far from Prague.
Yeah, and so it starts in Prague, but then it's going to go down to Pilsen, and in Pilsen they have that celebration where they celebrate how the United States helped to liberate Pilsen. And so it's a big celebration about the United States and how they've helped. And I was like, how cool would it be to go as the United States Czechoslovak Queen to this festival celebrating the United States? And sure enough, he's taking a tour for that specific reason. So
well, you know about George Patton coming into Pilsen, and he couldn't go any further. He was furious because they stopped him, because the plan was that Russia was going to liberate Prague, and he wanted to go in, and he was not allowed. Isn't that too bad? Because if he had gone in, it would have been America liberating Czechoslovakia. They would not have been under communism for 40 years. What a shame.
Yeah.
But this was the plan at Yalta, when the big three,